Hello everyone, Timer over here, and welcome to the start of a new series for Captain of Industry. Captain of Industry, if you're not familiar with it, is a resource management slash colony builder that we looked at not too long ago. It's gone through various stages. Right now it has went into early access, so it is available now on Steam in early access. And prior to that, it was in it was in alpha and beta, and you had to support them on their page, their website, in order to gain access to it. But I believe it's now completely available on Steam. The developer was kind enough back early on to give us access to it here on the channel. And I wanted to take another look at it. Our last game sort of petered out mainly because of IRL stuff. And then eventually it became outdated. And of course, our first game, which we got pretty far in, broke when it hit beta, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be taking a look at the early access release, which I have to say, I've been playing a little bit on my own, and oh my gosh, some of the quality of life fixes and changes that they've added for early access from beta, it's just tremendous. It's a lot of the tedium things that I had issues with in the previous builds are gone, and they're so fluid, and there is a ton more content, even because there was always a good bit of content, and they've just added even more so in the early access. So we're going to be taking a good look here at the early access thing, and this week, so to speak, is going to be my trial week. I'm going to try to get back to posting regular videos, one every day. Ever since the birth of my son, I've sort of been unable to produce content at the rate I was previously. But I'm starting to he's getting a little older. I'm starting to get a little bit more time to record, and we're going to try to do that here starting this week. We're going to try. I'm not making any promises, but we're going to try. So the current ongoing series for RimWorld is going to continue with Captain of Industry interspliced in there on every other day. And I do have some plans today to record some other series that we sort of put on the back burner. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's get into Captain of Industry. So we're going to start a new game. There is still just map selections, standard maps. There's still no map generation, which I would love to see that implemented at some point, where the world or the island or what your starting map can be auto-generated from, just randomized, much like things like Factorio do. I would love to see that. But otherwise, the maps have expanded. So the starting area, we're going to play on New Haven. This was the original island that we did in the Alpha series, the 2 series ago on the channel. But the map has changed. It's gotten bigger. It's gotten a little bit more... I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, it looks from the start, it looks pretty much the same, but it has expanded and things have been changed along the way. And I actually like it. So we're going to go ahead and play on that. This is the standard play. It's, I guess, sort of the tutorial, the standard, the easy mode. There's also the beach, which I think we played on this one the last playthrough before we had to cut it. Before I lost sort of time and unable to continue it. But we did play on this a little bit. Haven't tried any of the other maps yet. I look forward to doing those in the future. But because the New Haven one has changed from when I last played it, or I guess last recorded it, we're going to go ahead and focus on that as our start here. Forest size, everything I'm going to keep on standard. I don't think there's any reason to change the maps or anything like that. I mean, you can tweak these things, but I don't think it overall changes the look of the map too much. But I haven't messed with it. But we're going to keep things on standard. Here's a little information on sort of our starting resources. These are finite. They will deplete at some point. Hopefully we can sort of finagle that a little bit. I haven't messed around with it. I think you can now import resources from the greater sea area, but I haven't really messed around, or I guess in my solo game, I haven't really gotten to a point where I can actually import items. So that's something. And we'll talk more about that as it comes up. But let's go game difficulty here. Do I want to go up to captain? If I did this, so this is the captain is just the standard. Sailor is easy mode. I don't think we're going to do that. I think we're going to go into captain. I think I started captain on my my solo playthrough just to get a feel for things, and I didn't think it wasn't that bad. So I'm just going to go with that. Does that change 17? Yeah, it doesn't look like that changed this. I mean, I guess it impacts these numbers. I don't know. Interesting. Unless, so this would increase this number as this is standard. So this would then increase things, and the admiral changes around those values even more. I don't know. Anyway, that's there. Quick repair is enabled. Yes. I guess this is where we would turn on or off the quick stuff. But yeah, I want the quick repair and construction cost stuff. I want those to be able to spend Unity to do that, because that seriously saves time in recording. There is a game seed option here. Like I said, the map selection, these are the maps to choose from, but you know, the overarching map area, I guess, where you send your ships to, can change, and that's what this controls, I believe. Yeah, world map layout. Doesn't affect at all map generation, but it does affect weather, and so on and so forth. But more importantly, the world map layout. So if you want to use sort of the same environment effects as well as the same weather patterns as me, or the same world map as me, here's the game seed that you can enter and utilize in your playthroughs. Okay, let's go ahead and launch the game. I'm very excited about this. I always did enjoy our playthroughs previously. And I was really bummed when I lost my first game, because I was really, really into it. And that partly played into my my stopping the other game. Plus, I wasn't too keen on the map that we were playing on. So I don't know. We'll see. I've been playing on this one solo, and it's just been a blast. I love the changes that have been made. You know, some of the tools that you now have, some of the workaround options. It's just, there's just so much more content than I remember previously, and some of the more annoying things have been changed and really well implemented. So again, standard disclaimer, this is work in progress. This is early access. Things may change. Things will, you know, things may be buggy, that kind of thing. So do keep that in mind. There is music now. Hopefully it's not too loud, but I'll tweak things in editing if I find that they are a little too loud. But anyway, here we go. Welcome, Captain. Captain, we have just docked. Our ship and local shipyard will both need major repairs. The abandoned communication station near the dock could be deconstructed and used to smelt iron in the blast furnace so we can build more vehicles and construction parts. It is essential to build a research lab as soon as possible so we can figure out more blueprints for important things such as farms or beacons. You can build multiple labs to speed up the research. A friendly village you can trade with is nearby. Check the world map. Trading can be a lifesaver if you run the shortage of chemical products. So you should research and build a trading dock as soon as possible. So there you go. Let's go ahead and pause. Pause. There we go. Here's our starting area. So if you're not familiar with sort of the lore, the story here, some cataclysmic breakdown of society has occurred. We were on the ship when it occurred, and we've stranded ourselves on this island, and now we have to rebuild society. We are in, you know, storage containers because, you know, we were a storage ship kind of thing. So that's what we're building our initial homes with our colonists on. And we started with some equipment, some trucks that will do a lot of our hauling and work for us. We even have a tree harvester, which I think is new for early access. I don't believe in the last one this was here. I think we still were using trucks as the go-to harvesters of trees. You still use trucks, but the tree harvester is the machine that tears down the trees and puts them on the truck for delivery. So it's more like, it's like the miners, the excavators, but for trees. So yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's definitely spread out a bit from when I remember playing. These mountains, I don't believe were here. Or if they were definitely not this spanny. Definitely more room back here. Resources are different. The iron is a lot less rich than I remember it. But it could just be because I was playing on a lower difficulty. I don't know. There's a lot more, if we look at the overlay here, there's a lot more dirt and other resources, not iron, in this plot than it used to be. It used to be just mainly rich iron on the surface. So that's something we're gonna have to contend with. If you're if you're not familiar with the layers here, anything with a square is a mineable resource, and the stuff above it is also mineable, but it's more like gravel, dirt, rock, slag, that kind of thing, versus like in the actual resource you want. So before we can get to say this resource right here of iron, we've got to take out some top bits, some dirt, some rock, that kind of thing. The circle resources are renewable. Well, not renewable. I shouldn't say that. The water's renewable. It's liquid. So the circles are liquid. And the water is renewable. It is the water table. It will refill as it rains, and we will be able to mine down into it with a water extractor later on that's powered, and we'll be able to tap into that reserve with, you know, at the cost of some energy and coal and that kind of thing. We can also gather rainwater first and foremost. We don't have access to that yet, but that will be the first way, is we grab concrete production. That will give us the rainwater collection thing, which is large, spans an area, and collects rainwater for our use, and eventually we'll be able to tap into this here. There's also oil. This is not renewable, but it functions more or less the same way as the water. So we'll put down, you can put down oil rigs anywhere on this to tap into this overall reserve. So that's good. Whereas over here, these resources, like this is one resource pile. So once it's gone, it's gone. Over here, this is, you can think of this as a entire resource reserve of oil, and no matter where you put your extractor, you're going to pull from that overall resource, and the same goes to water. So that's that. What else? There was something else I noticed. Well, the limestone here, which is new-ish. There was limestone in our last run, but we were on a different map. So this definitely, I don't think, was here in the original map, because this is a new resource in terms of from the original period. So that's that. So there's been a lot of changes to recipes and so on and so forth that we'll be taking a look at. But yeah, here's our starting area. We are going to start rebuilding society. So we don't have any mining operations or anything like that. Everything's going to come from our abandoned communication station, which now has iron scrap, versus just starting with iron ore, some kind of thing. I can't remember what it was called, but I don't think it was iron scrap, or maybe it was and it was a different icon. I don't know. But we got concrete here, and we got electronics to deal with. We still have access to our metallurgy thing. We got coal maker, we've got blast furnace, we got a metal caster. All that's more or less the same. We got the smokestack. Smokestack has been changed, which I actually really like. It's no longer as convenient in that it has two connections. It can still handle the pollution from I think maybe three. I think three. Is that right? So it's 60, 18. Yeah. So blast furnaces, you can pretty much use 3 blast furnaces for one smokestack. But I found that the cost associated with piping, it makes that kind of useless to do. So I just started using the smokestack one per thing because they're fairly cheap. They only cost 10 now, 10 construction parts, which are pretty cheap. Later on, early on, that's still quite a bit. I mean, we're until we get self-sufficient, we have a max of 500 construction parts to start with. So yeah. But yeah, let's get started. So what I think I'm going to want to do is everything we do early on is more or less going to get trampled later on. So let's get some starting things down here. We are going to need a blast furnace. This is going to convert our stockpile of iron scraps into iron plates, which we're going to need later on, or future kind of thing. I'm going to go this way. I do like the grid. Oh my gosh. Again, one of those things that annoyed me in the previous builds was the lack of a grid with a grid. And they've added it, and it's just so nice. I'm so happy they put that in. Let's see. Maybe we go this way. Yeah, I'm going to leave a little bit of room. I think it's 3 wide that allows trucks to go through. Let's go into planning mode so down here, another really nice useful tool that they've added is planning mode. Automatically pauses construction. So that's useful. Toggle navigation overlays. All right, well, maybe it's not going to show until we actually have work for these guys to do. Either way, let's just move this over just in case. I think it's 3, but I could be wrong, and eventually this will, leave. So I think we're going to be okay with 1 for right now. Metal caster. Let's do... So before, I would do something... I always did something like this. Like that. And that kind of works okay, because you can do 2 metal casters for every blast furnace. Which, yeah, I think that's what we're going to continue to do, at least for this. And we get the molten channel. So we only have access to molten channels and pipes. Molten channels move molten objects, molten steel here, molten iron. And that's what we're going to plop there. We don't need these other out. Slag comes out of here. We're not going to want to block that. We're not going to pipe it anywhere, but we don't even have the option to do that. But we can pipe the smokestack here, but I don't think we are going to. I think we're just going to go ahead and plop in a smokestack right there. And I think that's going to be good enough. And finally, we're going to need coal to run this. Now, we don't have mining yet. Our coal reserves are over here, but we can't mine that yet. So we're going to need to turn wood into coal. So we're going to go and just plop you, I think, over here, maybe? Actually, I think I'm going to put you right here. But I think we're going to use one of the new tools that I am just so in love with and cut all of this and just move it. Like, I'm going to move it over here, I think. Give enough space over here for people to come in and out of. That's going to be fine. It's a little bit further of a trip, but that's going to be all right. Do I want to do anything else? Yes, we need another smokestack right here. Boop. All right, let's unpause and get this stuff built. And we need to set a designation for harvesting of trees. Now, where are we going to harvest first? Kind of want to harvest over here. Let's get these trees out of the way. They're close, and they're going to free up space for our next building projects and whatnot. And I think that's going to work just fine. All right, so there they go. The good trucks are on their way. We're going to get this up and running. This is going to allow us to produce copper, or not copper, iron, and iron plates more specifically. Waste and dumping tutorial. So yeah, waste is now a thing, which I don't even believe it was in the last build that I played. We're going to need to plop down the waste stuff. How am I going to want our cities? Oh, whoops. Let's add an assigned truck to our... Actually, let's get 2 going over there to help collect some wood. Don't know if I want the food market over here, but we can always move that at some point. I'm wondering about putting everything on this side and just planning on building downwards. Because I think in the last one we did sort of like this was our interior area for food. But I don't know if we're going to need that right this second. Iron smelting. Do we have buildings? Yeah, we're going to want to get our research lab up and running. I normally in the past have built our research labs up here by the dock. I don't think I'm going to do that this time. And the reason is that the research labs eventually become... They actually have stuff to do, like inputs to use. So I'm gonna build them off out of the way because people really don't need to go out this way long or short term. And I think my production area. I'm actually wondering, maybe we do production over in here. I was thinking about back in here, building the areas, but maybe we want to set up, you know, not like squeeze them up here like we used to, just put them somewhere where where we can get to them easily, and oh, wishy. Yeah, I think we're gonna go over here. Let's just plop you right here for now. It's a little far out there to start with, but again, I don't want what I have done, and I did this in my solo playthrough, where I did what I've always done in each of my either 2 series, where I plop them right over here against the coast, and I'm like, oh, you put them over here where they're out of the way, and you don't need to get to them, and you know they just sort of there and doing their thing. And then I realized that the later stages, Research Lab 2s and on, have actual products that they need and byproducts that you need to actually retrieve. So I'm going to put it over here because my main construction area I'm planning is going to be over in this general area over here. And I think that's still going to be the case. Yeah. Because I'm thinking smelting up here, production over here, power over here, oil production down here near where our dock is eventually going to be. So yeah. Research is up. Let's go with, we're going to want basic farming first. Into trading dock. Let's get construction going, into mining, and then go into probably power. Yeah, because I don't think any of these buildings require power. Possibly the vehicle depot. But I'm going to want to get mining up relatively soon. Now, maybe what we do is we go power and maintenance. Maybe that's what we're going to do. Okay. That should be good. That's up over there. Let's get the waste collection. So this is going to be... I think I'm going to just use this. That way we can plop down some housing. Well, do I want to do that? So normally I go here. I could always put it like on this end. Out of the way. It's going to be a while before we can sort of build out this way. We might just build upwards too. But that's kind of not really where I want my stuff to sort of be. Alright, tell you what, for now, let's use this end for this point. We can go and turn planning mode off, because more or less I'm just going to want these built when they get built. Research lab is ready. Hooray, hooray. Alright, are you producing? Slowly but surely, you are indeed producing. Or are you? Start recycling. That would resolve. So now our trucks will take the iron scrap and put it in here, and that will produce. Now, early on, the iron scrap is not going to produce slag because it's basically just iron that's we're reforming versus ore, which we have to sort of filter out all the slag from to get to the actual iron ore. So yeah, I do want this. Let's get this out of there. And then after that, let's build this. There we go. Do something like, just start clearing out these sort of in little waves. Ba, ba, ba. So there's really not much we can do right now. We do need a dumping area. Gathering waste. Do I want to start building ramps out of waste? Because I am going to want to get ramps going. I mean, we could we could create land from our plastic waste and whatnot. Because there's no way to burn it off at the moment or recycle it of any kind. Because this can't deal with waste, yeah. So we're gonna have to dump the waste. So I'm wondering if we build a ramp out of that, if that's gonna be okay. Hey, basic farming is done. Nice. Alright, so that's going to be good. We're going to want to get our farming going fairly quickly here. So, what I've done in the past is gone up this route here. But maybe we change things up a little bit. And I'm going to go back to sort of slow speed here. Maybe what we do is we plan on building our civilization, our cities, out this way, and we start farming over here. We'll have access to water over here eventually, the seawater. Where's we do have a big area that we could sort of set up water production. If we said we start here. Do I want to do that, or do I want to do what I normally do? And that's go straight up. There's a lot of space here, and we can still set so let's go into planning mode here. If we did this and we use the blast, well, I guess, do we have the, no, we don't have the ramps yet. Blast furnace still seems to be a fairly good judge distance wise for ramps, so I'm going to use that, and then we go this way. That might be a little bit too far. We go there. And we use the copy tool to space this out to there, to there. That could work. In fact, that's what I did in my first playthrough and in my solo playthrough, and it does work fairly well. But I'm kind of thinking we might want to do something different. You know? Let's pause those so they don't actually get built. It all depends on how much I want to go down here. I think this, I don't think we need these two at all. Because what we did in our previous playthrough is we did a sort of a box setup, which kind of worked well. We're not going to be able to do that until we remove some of this stuff. But we could very easily get 4 sort of, let's cut you. And do something like that. Just go drop that there so I have the spacing. And then over here, woo, let's spin the camera around. We are going to have to put a cut in the video though. Do something like this. We might do that. That way we free up a lot of space on the right here, which we're definitely going to want for this. And I might even move this further over. Yeah, let's just to do something different than what we did previously. Let's plan on that. Is this lined up? Because if that is, oh my goodness, that would be awesome. Give me my measuring tool here. Sort of. We might just move it over a pinch. Just a pinch. Copy. Ah! That's a shame. Let's move it up. I want to leave enough room down here for cars and whatnot. Maybe something like that. But yeah, I do want to sort of keep it flush with this. Honestly, flush with this would be even better. But we've got trees over here. So I don't know if that's going to be in the cards. Let's look at that as being the sort of route we take. And then over here, will I be able to get it? I can get a field in. And then, you know, let's plan on more fields eventually being set up on this side. And we'll go with that. I like it. I'm going to leave those there as markers, maybe? Or maybe I'll just leave these. So we'll get 2 fields for the time being. And I will plan on canceling this and focusing those down for right now. Honestly, focusing those down as well as this group of trees right there. On, you know, really both these ends here would be preferable. I think we could get by with just 2 fields for the time being. Really just 1. So yeah, we're gonna let this one get built and see what happens with it. And yeah, I think this will be enough room. Might want to go back just a scooch more. Give me a marker here. Well, I guess I'll have it with the lines. Let's just inch this back, say halfway. Right there. That's going to be good. I'll be happy with that. And really, I'm wondering if we just set up our stuff over here. Like our food maybe gets right here. That could work. Especially if we switch this around so that both of these, so the outputs actually go on a conveyor down right into the city here. I think I like that option. So yeah, go ahead and build this one. But with that, will we want... No, that will give us enough room. Will it be enough room for a ramp, though? That is the question. So, like a ramp here. Would that give us... Yes, we'll have plenty of room for a ramp, so I think that's what we're going to go with. All right, excellent. We're going to go ahead and put a cut in the video here. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this series. Yeah, the first episode's a little more planny-ish, but hopefully next episode we'll get our farms up and running. We'll hopefully start mining. 1, 2, yeah, I mean, we're burning through our research. We're definitely going to try and get construction going. So that is gonna be a thing, but yeah, I like it. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you're going to enjoy it. If you are, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more content, as always, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.